Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. I'm at the office, so I'm gonna get if I can untangle them.
Oh, wow.
I have one for my computer because it has the normal plug, and then I have I got earbuds now, but I had to have these because with the lightning plug, and so I get all tangled.
Right. You put the headphones in your pocket and they're not tangled, and you take them out and it's
like there's a little gremlin in there, and it just
right.
made everything a mess. All right. Now the whole office doesn't have to hear everything. Cool. I see someone's head in Hudson Valley. At the office. Oh, someone's chatting. Danielle, good morning. Okay, so Janet, do you want to move that monitor down so I can see you? All I can see is just the top of your head. There you go. That's better. Okay. Well, I think everyone's here. Okay. So let me just get some attendance done here, and then we will hop in. Can you guys believe this is our 6th week together?
It's really crazy how quickly it goes.
Isn't it crazy? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been 6 weeks. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Time just flies. It's almost November. What's up with that?
Yeah, and 2 more months left in 20.
in the decade.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I know, it's a little bit mind-boggling.
I like starting a new year though, because it's a chance to reset your goals and kind of turn a new leaf in a sense.
Yeah, I call it a hard reset. Where's the hard reset button?
Right.
Yep. Yeah, let's see here. All right, let's get rolling. I did get an email that someone was having trouble putting their tracking their numbers, so I think we have a outage. They're hopefully going to work on that today in core. I'm just trying.
Yeah, I didn't have issue tracking my numbers, but when I went in this morning to do my week in review, the website was kind of down.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so we'll see what it looks like. Yeah. So we'll see what's going on there, and I'll let you all know.
I also couldn't get in today to track my week in review.
Yeah, and you weren't able to?
No, also the whole success tracker, and nothing was working.
Okay. All righty. I think I saw something on that on Facebook. Let me see if they've given us an update yet. Yeah, let's see here. Coaches. You ain't having issues with core. Yes, yes. Getting with the developers this morning. Okay. And there is a known issue with a password reset. So if y'all could remember your password so you don't have to go in and reset it, that would be awesome. It's amazing how many people don't keep track of their passwords.
Right.
Okay. Awesome. So I wanted to make sure you all got this at least emailed to you. Yay, you printed it out. Look at you. I emailed this as an attachment, your passport to success. And so today is our 6th week, which is crazy, and just kind of going over some business basics. And these 2 items, your action plan and your passport to success, are our business, kind of our business plan and business models. So we are going to, and I know Danielle, I sent you a message. I don't know if you got it, but we're going to run through the math on this first page. Okay. I know on the video it runs through it, but it can get a little like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing here. So let me, oh, where'd it go? Let's see here. Thought I had it up. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated this morning. So let me get my head back in. Pitching tools. Action plan. See if that's it. Download. So I don't know if I've told you guys, but my son and daughter-in-law live up in Watertown, New York, so way up north at Fort Drum. He's in the Army. And they just flew home yesterday for my ex-father-in-law's funeral is today. So I got to see them. I picked them up at 11 last night, and I dropped them off at their aunt's house, and they're going to the funeral. So it's been a little bit of a crazy morning.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had all this up, and now it looks like it is. What's going to, oh, you know what? I try to do things the hard way. Let me do this the easy way. Downloads, agent, action, plan.
Right now, are we going over the math in the passport or the agent action plan?
Agent action plan.
Okay.
Yep. We'll go over that.
Okay.
Yep. So you guys are going to just have to take notes because I'm not finding the one that I want where I can actually type it in and let you see it. So we're just going to go for it. Get my phone out here and we'll just rock and roll. So, okay. So first number, that's what you want to net. What do you want to take home, put in your pocket after taxes, after expenses? What's that number look like? Okay, so let's just go with what? 100,000 just for math purposes, and then you can put your numbers in there.
100,000 would be like, I would be so beyond happy.
Okay. So would I, right? And I know everybody would be happy. So let's do 100,000 net. Okay? Let's just say. And okay, so cost of sales is the next line. And that is your company dollar and your royalty. So what is your company dollar cap?
30%.
Okay, but what's the cap?
28,000.
28,000 plus your royalty is how much?
I think it's 3,000.
Okay, so 28 plus 3. I don't do math in my head. Sorry.
31,000.
Okay. So see, we're lucky we have Danielle because she does quick math. So 31,000 is your cost of sales. Okay. And then yearly operating expense. So what do you think you spend a month?
Is that like office dues?
Yeah, office dues, marketing. Do you want to say, I mean, as new agents and like your annual renewals and all of that, would you say it's around $750 a month-ish or $500 a month?
No, I can't. I don't think it's that.
No, I mean, we have what? It's $80 a month for the
The office fee.
the office.
Okay.
I mean, are you talking MLS dues and realtor
Yeah,
dues?
all of that. Yep.
Well, realtor dues are really only once a year at
Okay.
$425,
Nice.
and MLS are, I think, once a year. I don't remember what they are.
I think that was $550 for MLS.
Really?
Yeah, it was really high.
80. So 80
Okay.
times 12 plus 425 plus 550. So we're looking at, so let's just say 5,000 a year. Okay, even though it's probably not that, but let's just use that number as an example. So your expenses, go ahead and put 5,000 in that blank. And then taxes. So we're going to take 30% of your why am I blanking on this?
30%
On your net. So your net was 100,000 times 30%. It's going to be 30,000. Okay, so that's going to go in your tax line. So then we're just going to add up those four. So 100,000 plus what? 31,000 plus 5,000 plus 30,000. 166.
Yep.
Is that right? Okay. So total gross commission needs to be 166 to earn a net of 100,000.
Okay, got it.
Make sense? Any questions on that part? Awesome. Okay. Average sale price. What's your guys' average? 425. Okay. So put that in. You guys are like double what we are. That's awesome. So 425. And then we're going to do an average commission. I'm going to do 2.8 instead of 3%, just in case there's a lower one or something. So 425 times 2.8% is 11,900 as your average commission. That's gross.
Oh.
Yep.
But then, okay, yeah.
Okay.
11,900.
Yeah, is that right? 425 times 2.8%.
I would say 2.5% to tell you the truth.
Okay, great. So 425 times 2.5 on average, 10,625. Okay. So that's going to be your average commission per deal. That's gross commission, not what you get, because we already took your cost of sales out at the top. So that's gross. Okay. Now, total closed units is E divided by G. So it's your gross commission. What was that?
10,625 divided by
E is your gross commission. So what's your gross commission?
So 166,000.
166 divided by your average commission was what? 10,250.
Yeah.
10,625.
10,625. 10,625.
So,
So we always round up. So 16 closed units.
So wait, okay, divided by
Right.
10, 6, 2, 5 equals, okay, so 16
So yeah,
closed
we
units.
round up because we can't do 0.6 of a, I mean, you could if it was a referral or something, but we're going to stay with round numbers. Okay, so now total closed volume is going to be H, which is your 16 closed units, times your projected sales price or average sale price.
So 16 times
425. You get 6,800,000.
Yep.
Okay.
That's crazy.
What's crazy?
Because first of all, I've never done 16 units in a year, for one.
How many have you done?
Not a lot. I don't even remember anymore.
Okay. All right.
So
816 units. Okay, so now we're going to break this down into percent of business. So we're going to say you do 50, 50. So 50% seller, 50% buyer. Is that fair?
Yep.
No? Okay.
so closed listings, you're saying, what is, no.
So percent of business is going to be
okay.
50% for sellers and 50% for buyers. So 16 divided by 2 is going to give us, right? Because we have 16 units. Divide by 2. So we're going to do 8 sellers and 8 buyers. Okay, so on your listings sold, put 8 closed listings.
And then
Okay,
8
then
listings taken.
yeah, 8 closed listings. And then the next line, listings taken. So we're going to have to take more listings than we sell because something will happen. They'll fall out, they'll become a lease, you know, something. So we're going to assume a 75% conversion rate. When you list a house, 75% of those are going to close. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. We're just going to take into account some fallout. So then I need to take J, which is, J equals H. Where's my H? Closed units. Wait. Oh, we already did that one. Sorry. Next one. J is your closed units. So 8 divided by 75%. So we need to take 11 listings. Is that what you get? To close 8, we need to take 11.
So, wait a minute, let me get my count. 8.
Divided by 75%.
10.6, so you rounded up higher to 11, right?
I always round up. Yep. So 11, we need to take 11 listings so we can sell 8 because we have a 75% conversion. Now, if you're thebomb.com, you might have 100% conversion, right? But we're going to give you a little bit of grace and do a 75%. That's still a great conversion, right? Something could happen. They don't get the job transfer, yada, yada, beyond our control. Or they fire us, whatever. That gives you a little padding, right? So you would take 11. Okay. Now we're going to take and see how many appointments do we need to go on to get those 11 listings.
Jeez.
22.
Okay. So, yeah. So we're going to take listings taken. So 11 divided by, right, 50%, 22 appointments. That's a year.
I know, that's not bad. Okay, so 11 divided by 50%.
Mm-hmm.
It's 22. Right.
So let's recap that section. Percent of business should be 50. Then your closed listings is going to be 8. Listings taken is 11. And listing appointments is 22.
Mhm.
Make sense?
Yes.
Awesome. So the next one is going to be real easy because it's the same thing because we're doing 50-50, right? So your closed buyers is going to be 8. Your buyer contracts written is going to be 11. Buyer appointments held are 22. Okay. So now we're going to calculate how many appointments per week do I need to go on. So if I have 22 seller appointments and 22 buyer appointments, I have 44 appointments for the year. And we're going to give you 4 weeks off in the year. So we're only going to count 48 weeks. Okay.
So it's
44 divided by 48 is going to give us 0.91. We can't go on 0.91 of an appointment. So 1 appointment a week for 48 weeks. 1 appointment a week for 48 weeks. So talk to me about that number. What do you think?
that's a good number.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
We just have to figure out how to contact enough people to get those appointments.
Exactly. So do you remember when we did our lead gen database session and we talked about doing 20 deals in 2020 with 200 contacts?
Yeah.
So how many deals was this total? How many units closed in this scenario?
16.
Okay, right? So it's completely doable. Is it doable next year? Sure, right? And we talked about, what if you did 10, would you be excited? Right? So it's just going to be half of that. So let's say in this scenario, making 100,000, if you're like, okay, 50's good, 50's good for me, that's 8 units, that's 8 closings. Okay. So what you can do on this worksheet, we'll get to the database here in a sec, but what you can do on this worksheet is now you can put a number in there so you know what it looks like at 100,000. So keep that, make a copy, of a blank one, and try 50,000. Because you'll be surprised, it's not that much different. Okay. And if you don't know your average price point, so that's the market's average price point. If you say, well, what if my average price point is 300,000? So then you can run that number. Clearly in this scenario, that's going to be more closings, right? Because as your price goes down, your closings need to come up. All right, so you can run some different scenarios here. But what I found with one of my agents is we looked at her average price for 2018, and it was about 180 is where she was at. So ours is about 220 average price point. And it was 180. And I said, you're working really hard because you have to close more units to get where you want to go. So what if we focused in 2019 on average price point? She was like, okay. So we focused on 300,000. Yes, that's a huge jump, right? But we focused on 300,000. And already from last year to this year, her average price point went up to 280. 100,000 just because we were focusing on 300.
Okay.
Okay. So we know that what you focus on expands. And just by focusing on doing open houses in that price range and putting it out there, she wrote 300 like on her mirror at home. Everything was 300 price point. Yes, there's going to be less. Yes, there's going to be more. But when you focus on a number, it's amazing how it just works. And she was very purposeful about her open houses, and she would sit, anywhere from 275 plus, right? She wasn't sitting anything less than 275. So being real purposeful on what is my goal for average price point, and then focusing on it. Being very purposeful on what, price range you sit open house, what price range you just kind of put out there, and watching your market. So what she did also is in our MLS system, and we use Matrix as well. She's, excuse me, set herself up on an auto email that for 300 plus houses. So like 300 to 600. So every day she was watching the market from 300 to 600, studying that market, right? Just making sure that that number was what she was studying. So every day, or whatever, however she had it set up, she would get a notification. Here are the new listings in this price range. And you can do it in a certain area. I think she did it in the county that she works in Johnson County. And so every day she was studying that price range market. What's it doing? Are prices changing? I think she did 250 to 550 or something like that. So she could see what's happening at 250. Are the people pricing at 3 too high? So just studying that market and being the market expert in that price range. So that is how we focused on getting her price point up. And if she did the same amount of units, clearly she's making more money, or she could lower the amount of units, but still make the same. Does that make sense?
Right.
So you see how knowing these numbers will get you where you want to go. So you can play with this and lower the price point, right? See what happens there. Because, we didn't have a focus with her on price point that first year, or in 2018. And when we focused on it this year, it just changed. It was amazing. I'm like, let's do this. And she was like, oh my gosh, we pulled her multi-year trend from the Keller Williams reporting, and it was up. Okay, so focus. What is that number? Study that market. Study that price range in the market. What's it doing? How's it selling? Is it slowing down? Is it speeding up? Where is that market, right? Because I know Meralda has told me you have different pockets in different areas of pricing. So where is that market? Focus on it. Okay, any questions so far?
No.
Awesome. Okay, next we're going to get down to what do we need in our database. Okay, so like we talked on the lead gen and database one, we talked about with a core 200, if you just marketed to them at a high level, you could get the 10-to-1 ratio is 20 deals, right? Now that doesn't mean you don't have more than that in your database. That just means that's your core 200 that you highly focus on, market to consistently on a more personal level than just an email drip. Okay. So how many do we need in our MET database? So we're looking at a 20-to-1 ratio. I'm sorry?
What does MET stand for?
So MET is people you know, like you've met them. Right? It's so simple, but that was when I first joined Keller Williams. I'm like, what's a MET? Because it's capitalized. And I'm like, what does that stand for? Because we have so many acronyms. Right. It's literally just people that you know, that you've met. Good question. Right? Because that was my same question too. All right. So how many people do we need in our MET database? People we've met, people we know. This could be more than just your sphere, right? So our closed unit goal is 16, right? And we're going to divide that by 0.05 because we're looking at a 5% return.
16 divided by 0.05, did you say?
Correct. Okay. So that number should be 320. Is that what you get?
Where's my calculator?
Yep.
Okay. So 320. So you need 320 MET people in your database, people that you know. So 200 of those could be your top 200, and then 120 you're dripping on. Okay, so haven't met. These are people you haven't met. Now, how do you put people in your database that you haven't met, right? It seems a little counterintuitive. Well, haven't met are people that maybe you, if you choose to farm, so if you do a geographic farm, a lifestyle farm, whatever. So you pick a neighborhood, you do your neighborhood, you maybe haven't met all of them, but you maybe have their contact info or you've gotten that somehow. So in order to have a 50-to-1 ratio, so for every 50 people in your haven't met database, you'll get one piece of business. Okay, so now we're going to take our closed unit goal of 16 and we're going to divide that by 0.02, and that's 800. Plus 320. So do you have 1,120 people in your database?
No.
No. Okay. So now you have a goal. So let's just say by the end of 2020, you're going to have 1,120 people in your database. We're going to divide that by 12. So that's 93 a month. We're going to divide that by 4. That's 23, we'll say 24 new people added to your database every day, if you take 12 months to do it.
And what did you say to take the 120 and do what?
1,200, divide it by 12, because I added the Mets and the haven't Mets and got 1,120 divided by 12, that's 90. We'll say 94 contacts added a month to your database. Then we're going to divide that by 4 and we'll get 24 a week. Does that make sense?
24 a day, right?
24, oh, sorry, 24 a week.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll divide that by 5. Sorry, 24 divided by 5. So we're going to add 5 a day.
Okay, so 5 a day, 24 a month?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that right?
No, 24.
No, 94 a month.
24 a week, 5 a day.
Yeah, 24 a week, 5 a day.
94 a month, 24 a week, and
5 a day.
5 a day.
So when we break it down to the day, how does 5 feel a day?
It's fairly easy.
Right? So
Yeah.
don't look at those big numbers. That's why we do this exercise, especially with the brand new agent, right? For those of you who are new, because if you see 100,016 deals, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And you know, like Janet, like you said, I've never done 16. Right. Let's just chunk it down. Let's take it down to what do I need to do every single day to reach my goal? Because when I do what I need to do every day, that goal will be reached, right? Instead of looking at that goal and then being paralyzed every day going, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Make sense?
Repeat that.
So, people that we meet at open houses. Now, like yesterday, I did an open house.
Great.
I picked up 2 possible buyers. I've already sent them houses to look at and things like that. Do I add them into my contacts in command?
Yes. Absolutely. Yep. Get them in there. Anybody you, so Tony DeCello, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he is Diana Kokoska. She's the one who wrote Bold, the first Bold. It's her husband. And he's a MAPS coach. He coaches very high-end realtors. And he says, and I said this in person, I went and listened to him at, I think it was Mega Camp or Family Reunion. And he said, because somebody said, well, how do you decide who goes into your database? And he goes, if I've talked to them and they're breathing, they go in my database. Okay. So with that, he says, now know that he markets to very heavily a very small portion, 200, right? But the rest of those, so let's say you have your top 200, 1120 minus 200. So the 920 other people are getting an email from you and maybe a quarterly call, right? With your top 200, it's monthly. What are you doing monthly for them on a personal level, not just an email drip? They'll be on that as well. But what are you doing to make sure that you take care of them so they take care of you? Right? So you can have thousands of people in your database and focus on those 200 top core people and have a very good business. And then those other ones are getting email drips and a quarterly call or something like that. Quarterly text, Facebook message, whatever. Okay, and Adam, I think you wanted me to repeat something. What was it? I'm like, what was that?
I'm not sure.
Okay. If you think of it, let me know. Okay. Any questions on that section? I really want you to print out another blank one and put some numbers in there that are, you know, maybe closer to what you're, would it be okay to add people? Yes, add people from your kids' class list. Some of those will be haven't mets, right? Sports. Who do you know? So Adam, you're younger than me. I know you don't have kids, right?
Correct.
So who would you add that, do you have friends in the area that have parents? You know, who are those people? Friends your age, they, you know, might be getting ready to buy. Who are their parents? Who are their, right? Get that information and get it in there. Okay. So again, in your passport to success, if you printed that out, in the back, there's this huge list of lead gen ideas and memory joggers. I mean, if you just found one person for every category, you'd have a really great start, right? So who sold me my cell phone? Who sold me my business cards? My boat. I'm sure y'all have a boat. I have, no, just teasing. I don't have a boat. I do have a camper. Computer, you know, whatever. But use that memory jogger to add people to your database that you might be forgetting about. Okay. So at that number, we're looking at 1120 in your database. Again, with a core 200 that you're going to take care of every month with something personal, a market stat that's just a little more than an email drip or a quarterly call. Okay. So setting that up is going to be real easy. So ahas around that section before we go to the next one. What are you thinking?
That the people are out there.
Okay.
It just takes a little extra effort, obviously, because we were in, you know, some of us are taking Bold right now.
Okay, great.
And the coach there said that, you know, in order to make contacts, if you're online at the grocery store, for example, you know, you could ask the cashier if they know anyone looking to buy or sell. Then you could ask every single person online behind you. But I was in a scenario like that, and I just didn't feel comfortable putting myself out there. So I just think if I'm able to break through that, then I'll be able to make the contacts.
I love it. Do you wear a name tag?
No, not in.
Oh, you're a secret agent.
You think I should?
I know you should.
Anywhere I go?
Everywhere you go. Everywhere. You show up to a family event and they're like, "No, you have your name tag on." "Yeah, I've been working." So anyway,
Right.
Especially grocery stores, post office, anywhere you stand in line, wear your name tag.
Right.
No secret agents. No secret agents. Okay. So Danielle said she's going to start adding people that she knows casually from schools and sports. Yes, plenty of people to add now. Awesome, right? Get those juices flowing. Who do you run into? Who do you know? What's in your circle? Okay. Sometimes we make this harder than it is just because we think there's some magic formula to who we put in our database. Tony DeCello says if they're breathing and he's met them, they go in his database, right? So use that as your litmus test. Again, he doesn't, highly market to thousands of people. He has a small group that he purposefully markets to, and then the rest of them still see his name in an email or whatever, right? So don't overthink it. Don't overcomplicate it. And getting a name tag. Yes, get a name tag. Everybody get name tags. There are name tags let me find this, and they're like super inexpensive. Let's see. What is it called? Real estate name tags. I'll know it if I see it. House of Magnets. Houseofmagnets.com. Name badges. And it'll have, if you put in Keller Williams and search that, it'll come up. And you can either just do Keller Williams, or they should have, there's a big list here. Let me share my screen so you can see it. Big list here, Hudson Valley Realty. You guys aren't United, right? You're just Hudson Valley?
Hudson Valley Realty.
Okay. So that's in the list at House of Magnets. And you get 5 for $24. 5. So you can put one in the car, one in your bag, one on a coat, $24. Invest $24 in yourself. Okay. It has it already right here. There's several styles. You just put your name. $24. There you go. Super easy. Now, Adam, you're going to want to get this one with the bling on it.
Okay.
Just teasing. They have frameless. You can do a mix. So you can do black, gold, silver, bling, whatever. Frameless.
Right.
So some of the ladies like the bling. I just like the regular.
Which one has the bling? I don't see bling.
Right here, if you look in, let me see if I can make this bigger.
Oh,
Under
you
each
check
one.
bling. Okay,
Yeah.
you check bling. Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
see.
check bling, and then you'll see the little
Oh, I
bling
see.
around
Okay.
it.
Those are real diamonds, right?
They are for
Yeah.
5 of those for $25. Well, you
Right.
add 12, so we got to add $12. So yeah, $50. Real diamonds around your name tag. So, and they're the magnet ones with like the magnet bar, so they don't go through your clothes or whatever. And realtor, I think you can just put on there. I don't know if you guys need to put something else, but check with your office. But yeah, there you go. 5 for $24. Unless you get bling, then it's more. They're super nice. Let's see, I probably have one in my bag somewhere.
I have mine.
There you go. Or not, who knows? Like the endless bottomless pit in my bag. But they're really nice. So order yourself some of those. House of Magnets, $24. Make the investment. Promise it'll pay off. That'll probably be your biggest return on investment item you ever buy in real estate. I just made you a millionaire with
Wow.
$24. So yes, Adam, wear them everywhere. Danielle, wear them to your kids' sporting events. People will come up to you and be like, "Oh, you're a realtor?" Now, when you wear it, you need to have a script ready for when they say, "Oh, you're a realtor," or "How's the market?" Don't go, "Oh, the market's great." They don't. What does that mean? I don't
It
know what
sounds
that
like BS, honestly.
sounds like. BS, right? So when
Well,
you're
my old company told us if someone asks you how the market is, you should say, well, that depends if you're a buyer or a seller.
great. So are you a buyer or seller? Oh, I'm a buyer. Great. So this is where studying your price point, your average price point that you want to be in, will give you good talking points, right? So now Susan, when someone says, "How's the market?" and she goes, "Well, between 250 and 550, this is what's happening. We've had this many sales this month. We've had this many pendings, this many new listings come on the market. Are you a buyer or seller?" "Oh, well, I'm a buyer." So you just gave them 2 or 3 pieces of info that every other agent's not going to give them, right? They're going to be like, "Oh, it's great," or "Oh, the market sucks," or, whatever. But you just said, "Well, in this price range," it doesn't matter if they're not in that price range, but that shows that you are studying the market. "Are you a buyer or seller?" "Well, I'm a seller." "Well, what price range would you be in?" "Well, I'd be probably 600. Awesome. I would love to get you more info on that. What's your email address? Okay. And you can add people right to your, let me see. I haven't been in Kelly for a little bit. So when you're in Kelly and you open it up, right, and you click command down at the bottom, and then you click contacts at the top, you can add a new contact. Okay. So you could be like, "Great, I'd love to, get back with you. What's your name?" "Joe Smith." "Okay, great." Add a phone number, add an email. "Okay, you said you're a seller. What's your home address?" And I'll make sure I look up just specifically in your area. "Awesome, great. So I'll be getting back to you tomorrow by 3 or whatever, right? So Adam, that's going to go back to that getting out of your comfort zone, because we don't grow in our comfort zone, right? So wear your name tag knowing that you're going to get questions. So study something where you can give even just one piece of info.
If I knew that it would get people to come up to me, I probably would have done it earlier. But honestly, one reason that I haven't is because I thought it would shoo people away.
Opposite. So I had an agent that I started coaching, and he was like, "I am not even buying name tags." I'm like, "Okay." Everyone in the class had name tags. All new when we first launched the program, and he was the only one who refused to get name tags. And so, a few weeks went by, everyone's wearing their name tags out, and we're sharing, "Hey, what happened last week?" "Well, I was in the grocery store. I went to get my tires rotated, and they were asking me about real estate." And I'm like, "So how much longer are you going to be a secret agent?" Now he wears his name tag. He's been in the business for 2 years. He wears it every day, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, it's the best investment in your business to get into communication with people. If they don't want to give you their info, fall back on giving them a card or sharing your app with them, right? Because then they'll always have your info. Your app is a mobile business card.
Right.
Your KW app. So you can just share that with them, so you can at least get their phone number. "Hey,
Right.
give me your cell phone number and I'll go ahead and shoot." Right? So
Interesting.
So I want you to, number one action item for this week is get name tags if you don't have them. 5 for $24. I promise it'll be well worth it. And if you have them, wear it every day, everywhere. And just see what happens. Okay? Get a piece of information that you can share with people. It can be just one thing. "Hey, did you know last week we had X amount of listings come on the market in, is it Rockland? in Rockland County. That one bit of info is going to make you look like an industry expert, because you didn't just go, oh, the market's good, you know, buyers are buying, sellers are selling, blah, whatever, right? Give them a stat and they'll be like, oh, really? I didn't know that. Tell me more. Then you can ask them, well, would you be a buyer or seller? Well, we're not, you know, nothing right now, but in the future, what would you be? Well, I'd be both. Awesome. So I would love to study the market, where your listing is and what you're looking for, and get back to you with more information. Because when you give them a stat, they're like, oh, this person knows what they're talking about, right? So just memorize one stat from last week. Look it up. X amount of listings went active in Rockland County last week. Well, what does that mean? They may ask you, what does that mean? And then you could say, well, are you asking as a buyer or a seller? Because it means two different things, depending on which side you're on. Okay, so study that. So when you wear your name tag, you have something to share with them. And it can just be whatever happened last week in your MLS. It's not, don't make it super complicated. Okay. Make sense? You are going to be the industry expert, because 9 out of 10 agents they ask will say, oh, the market's doing okay. We're good. Who cares? What does that tell me? Nothing. You say, last week we had X amount of listings come on and we sold X amount of houses in Rockland County. They'll be like, oh, really? Be the 1 out of 10. Be that top 10%. Okay. Name tags, get them. Name tags, wear them if you got them. Okay. What else do we need to do?
You need to be able to
study the market.
Exactly. Set yourself up for success if you're going to wear the name tag, because you need to have something to say when they come up to you.
They're going to ask, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a realtor. How's the market? Everyone wants to know how the market is. You've got to have something to give them. You don't have to know the whole market. You give them 1 or 2 pieces of info. They're like, ooh, that's impressive, right? And you're like, after that, you're like, okay, now what do I do? But be prepared to answer that one question. How's the market? Your friends are going to ask you, people you're around, how's the market? Be prepared. Well, last week we had ... or did you know ... right? People want to learn. They want to know things. And if you are the giver of that knowledge and information, that positions you as an industry expert. The bar's really low, y'all, on becoming an industry expert. Okay, it's really low. We have set it so low for our industry that if you have 2 pieces of info from last week, you've just raised the bar.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, right? I dare you to go ask another agent in your office, how's the market? See what they say.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Hey, how do you feel the market's going? Well, it's good. And if they can't give you a bam bam, you've just one up them. I don't care how long they've been in the industry. Right? So very simple, very low bar. Let's raise it. Let's be the agents that raise the bar in our industry. Okay, 6 minutes. Okay, let me write down our action items. So we're going to get name tags. Wear name tags. Yeah, if you already have them, wear them.
Are we only doing an hour today?
Oh yeah, there's not many of you here, but I have a couple other things we'll go over.
Okay.
Get name tags, study market. And by study market, I mean just pick certain pieces of info. Don't overwhelm yourself, okay? And be ready to answer, how's the market? Yeah, I have a couple more pages I'm gonna go over with here. Sorry, I forget we're doing like I said, my brain is a little fluff today, so thanks for reminding me. Okay. All right. Okay. So, AHA, put those casual people into your database, whoever they are. Open house people, get them in your, anybody that's breathing and you've met, get them in there. If you haven't met them and you have their info, like a team list or something like that, get them in there, right? And name tags. But yeah, and then redo this first page with some numbers that you would use. So if you want to do 50,000, right? And then an average price point of maybe 300, just because, you know, try that, see what that looks like. But that's a great worksheet to kind of project, hey, is it much different work between 50 and 100? Probably not that much.
Probably, yeah.
So at 100,000, you're going on one appointment a week. What if you did 2? What if? What if you did 2? If you did 3? What if you went on appointment every day of the week? Okay, so what other sales job can you have that you just tell your boss, I'm only going on 1 call this week, only 1 appointment? Would you have that job very long? Oh, no. They probably want you to have 3 or 4 a day. 1 a week, 1 purposeful appointment. Now you may need to have several appointments and 1 pops, right? That's why last time I wanted you to get in the habit of going on an appointment, you know, 2 or 3 a week, whether it doesn't have to be a buyer or seller, just go on an appointment. Get yourself in the habit of going on an appointment. Once a day, 3 times a week, whatever. According to this, you can make 100,000 going on 1 appointment a week. Are you going to do it? I don't know. 1 a week, y'all. I know you have that in you. Some weeks may be more, some weeks may be less. Average 1 a week. So
how do we come up with the plan to get to that appointment?
To get that appointment, that's where working with your database, right?
Right.
Being in front of those 200, your top 200, who are they? If you only have 50 in there right now, are you taking care of that 50? Do they know that you're a realtor? Or are you expecting them to remember you're a realtor? It's our job to remind them, not their job to remember. I'm pretty sure all my people don't go around every day going, oh, Jody's a realtor, I need to help her today. Pretty sure they're not doing that. However, if they see something or hear from me, they're like, oh yeah, Jody's a realtor. Great. Right? So it starts with who's in your database, purposefully getting in front of those people on a consistent basis at a high level, and then getting appointments with them. So your goal every week is to go on an appointment. So you need to be able to set that appointment.
Right.
So what if you just talked and talked and talked to people until you had 1 appointment a week?
I can do that.
Right? That's it. You may have to talk to 50. You may have to talk to 100. Who knows? Right? But keep track. That's why your daily tracking is so important, because now you're going to know every 25 people I talk to, I get an appointment. So now when you're lead generating, you know it's going to take at least 25. 25 no's before I get a yes. So go for the no, because every no is going to get you closer to the yes. So make it a game. How many no's can I get today? I need at least 25 so I can get an appointment. So don't be afraid of the no's. Embrace them, celebrate them, because that's 1 step closer to a yes. Getting yourself in front of people. So Adam, you had said something about getting through that, breaking through that uncomfortable thing at the grocery store. So have I given you something that will help you do that?
Yeah, I think the name tag will help. And it's just remembering, it just reminded me of another thing I learned in Bold is our minds work on a pain pleasure
Oh, right.
like
Yes.
situation. So the pleasure of what I can get from talking to the person has to be bigger than the pain that I feel from being in that uncomfortable position.
There you go. Right.
And
It's a
yeah,
mindset thing. It's right here. It's 6 inches.
right,
This 6 inches gets us hung up all the time.
right,
6 inches,
right.
not 10 feet. It's not a
Right.
giant. It's a little teeny thing, right? But it's a big deal. I love
Right.
that. Is the pleasure more than the pain? Is the pleasure of getting in front of those people, knowing what the reward is, bigger than I feel nervous? I don't want to talk to people. Only you can decide that, right?
Yeah. One place that I know I could talk to a million people is at the gym. And especially in the locker room, because there's just a million people and everyone's talking about something. So,
Right? So people want to talk about themselves, right?
yes.
When you ask someone, hey, blah, 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 or, what have you been up to? See you in here every day. What are you up to? They'll tell you, and they're like, well, what do you do? Have your 30-second elevator pitch.
Right.
Right? I'm a realtor. I help people, find their dream home and sell their home so they can move on. Not, oh, I sell real estate. Who cares? Tell them what you do. Why are you passionate? So that's one thing in your action plan. If you get back to the back and you work on your big why are you doing this? Why did you spend the money? Why did you spend the time to get in this business? Do this page.
What's the page?
Hard. It's page number, I don't think it has pages. It's towards the back. It's like the second to the last. Your big why. Why are you doing this? So some of the questions are, what stirs your soul? What makes your heart sing? That's the first question. Okay? You're not new to this planet. You've been alive. You know things. Just because you don't know real estate 100%, you know things, right? What's your motivation, your goal? What does achieving that goal mean to you? Well, how will that change your life? Right? This is some deep stuff. But I'm telling you, this exercise is huge for mindset and getting out of our own way. Because like you said, when I know my big why, what pleases me, I will do whatever it takes to get there. If that means putting myself in a uncomfortable at the moment situation, I'm going to do it because I'm going to think about why I'm doing it. Okay. So I really want you guys to work through this through the Locker Room University so that you have this action plan. So Meralda's, has she been announced as your productivity coach?
Yes.
Okay,
Who?
great. Meralda. Is that how you say her name? Meralda? And
yeah.
So she'll be going over this too. So make sure you get this completed. Right? Because this is your 2020 business plan right here, this action plan. It is your business plan. Okay? If you need to print out another page, to redo the math. Okay. There's some other lead gen model costs, lead generation model. Then the page I want to go over next with you guys is this one, the top 5 relationship areas.
Is that also in the action plan?
It is. Yep. It's like the 4th page in.
Yep, I got it.
Okay. So top 5 relationship areas. So the first one is people you determine wealth for.
Determine wealth for.
What does that mean?
So who do you determine wealth for? Do you determine wealth for your market center, your team leader, your sponsor? Right. So your sponsor's name should be on there because you determine wealth for them by your sales, and if your office is profitable, they get some profit share, right?
Right.
So that your sponsor should be one. Your team leader, you determine wealth for them. Because by your production.
Is it our team leader or the owner of the brokerage?
Both.
Okay.
Could be all of them. You could put leadership, office leadership, because it all trickles up, right?
Right.
And then you'll also be putting your coach on there because you're determining wealth for your coach as well by your production.
Should we do you, Meralda, or both?
You can do both of us right now,
Okay.
right? Because you getting into production is going to determine what happens financially for those people. Do you determine wealth for your family?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any bodies specifically? You know, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Who are you determining wealth for? Okay. That one, most agents get hung up on that one. That's why I like to go over that one to get your mind thinking of who you determine wealth for. Okay, the next one is the fourth one down, wealth determiners. Who determines wealth for you?
Only me.
Only you? You sure?
Off the top of my head,
Would your coach determine wealth for you by helping you?
Yes.
Right, so coaches.
Did you say wealth determiners? Is
Yep.
that what you're talking
That's
about?
the fourth one down, wealth determiners. Who determines wealth for you?
Husband.
Okay. You know, again, your office leadership could determine wealth for you. You okay, Janet? Did you just hit your knee?
I bent my leg.
Oh, jeez. Right? Because they're offering you support and training and, you know. Okay. So hopefully you can figure out love and you can figure out mentors and role models, right? And then top 25 allied resources. Those are people that you've worked with. So are those lenders, title or lawyers, plumbers, electricians? Who are your allied resources? So when your client needs a roofer, you're like, hey, I got Joe Schmo. He's a great roofer, right? Because these people are really important in our real estate for relationships. So I've been doing this for 15 years as a realtor. And so when I tell my client, you know, they're like, my hot water heater is leaking. I say, here's Walt the plumber's info. Tell him I sent you. Because when they say, Jody sent me, and he's like, he'll hop to it, right? So that's an allied resource. He won't say, well, I'll get to you next week. Right? Because I have the relationship and I've given him a ton of business. When my clients call, he knows to get on it, right? Because I don't know how many water heaters he's installed for my clients and me. And I mean, I keep that man in business, right? So who are those allied resources, or who do they need to be that you have not met yet? So if you don't have a name, put lender, and then who is that? 1, 2, or 3 of them. Get to know them. Ask the agents in your office, who do you love as a lender?
Right.
What attorneys do you like to work with? Right? So who are those allied resources going to be? Okay. So these top 5 relationship areas are very important. You notice we have a lot, 25 on the allied resources and 5 in the top relationship areas. Have you ever heard that who you are is determined by the 5 closest people to you?
Okay, so no.
I've heard that, yes.
Heard that, right? So
Well,
take a look.
You know, whoever you associate yourself with, surround yourself with, like, you're the product of those people, so you're going to be just like the people you associate with.
Right. So take a close look at who are the 5 closest people to you. Think about that for a minute. Do they deserve to be that close to you? Is there someone that needs to be brought into that 5 and someone need to go back, take a step back? This was a hard one for me because I had to take a really hard look at who I was letting in my inner circle. And I had to kind of give some people a step back and bring some others in because they were either negative or didn't support me. And I was letting them in my world super close, right? Just because they take a step back doesn't mean they're out of your world. It just means they're not in the inner circle. They're not the one influencing you, your mind. No cousin Eddies. Do you have a cousin Eddie who's like, I knew you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. If you have those people in your inner circle, time for them to take a step back. Okay. Look at these top 5 relationship areas. Who, as a wealth determiner, do you need to let one of those into your inner circle? How about a mentor, role model, someone you love?
Wealth determiners means that
they're helping determine wealth for you.
And then the top one is I'm helping determine wealth for them.
Correct. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Exactly. So when you get this list done, are there any of these people that are not in your closest 5 that need to be? And is there a negative Nelly or a cousin Eddie in that 5 that you're like, time for you to take a step back? Right? Because we don't need those people that close to us. They can still be friends, whatever, but you may adjust how they influence your world. It can be hard. It's not fun. Kind of having someone you purposely are like, okay, they're a step out. They're not right in my core people. Because when you're in this business, a lot of people can really mess with your head. And some of those people are the closest people to us. And basically telling us, you're never going to make it. I don't know what why are you doing this? Okay. Don't let their insecurities and their questions about themselves reflect on you. Okay. Typically when people don't believe they tell us they don't believe in us or that we can't do it, that's a reflection of how they feel about themselves, not us, right? So we can't let how they feel project onto us and determine how I feel, right? I know this is a little deep and heavy, but you've got to protect yourself. That doesn't mean you cut them out of your life like, boop, they're done, right? It's just maybe you spend a little less time with them or, whatever you're normally doing with them, maybe it's just a little less. Okay? Because we want to be surrounded by people who will lift us up, who will pour into us, who we can pour into, and that's not sucking the life out of us. Like, after 20 years of marriage, I got divorced. And one of the things my ex-husband told me was, maybe you should get a real job. And I said, I'll show you a real job, right? And here I am 7 years later, coaching and training agents in New York.
Right.
I do have a real job, right? So people think, well, you're in real estate, it's not a real job because you're not like clocking in and clocking out and have a boss. I'm telling you, it's harder than any real job. Some days I'm like, I'd like to clock in. Yeah, some days I'm like, man, I'd like to go just work at a bank, clock in, clock out, done. Don't have to worry about anything. That's not what I want to do, right? It would be easier, you know, doing the easy things, always easy. It's not always right. So just stick with it. Get the people around you and if that is, you know, at the office or wherever you can get your bucket filled and people are lifting you up and not bringing you down, figure out who those people are. I promise you, once you start surrounding yourself with those people, things become a lot easier. And your mindset doesn't need reset every single time after you meet or see them. Because I can get down and negative with the best of them. I mean, that's in my genes. I can get down. I choose not to, and I choose to surround myself with people who are going to lift me up, who believe what I believe, who appreciate what I am. Jake Dixon, the founder of the Locker Room, he posted the other day. What did he post? And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, now you tell me. He said, it's really good. I have to read it word for word here. When was that? Dun, dun, dun. He's always full of wisdom. Align yourself with people who celebrate you, not just tolerate you. Ouch. So I sent to him, now you tell me, right? Who do you feel is just tolerating you, and who could you get into your circle that will celebrate you? That won't be jealous of your success, that won't be jealous that you're your own boss, right? Who are those people that will celebrate you, that you can celebrate with, and you don't feel like you're bragging or whatever, right? Because everyone's excited. Who are those people?
And what category would that fall under?
It just depends. It could be all of them.
Right.
It could be someone in each of them.
Right.
Like I have a home inspector. That's another one that, I mean, we'll meet for coffee and just talk about life, right? He fills my bucket. I fill his bucket. Is it business related? Not necessarily, but I got to get my head straight too. And he used to be a pastor. So we sit and we, have coffee and just talk about, we can talk to each other and be real without judgment, right? Because he can be like, oh my gosh, this has been going crazy in my world. I'm like, this has been going crazy. And we don't have to necessarily help or fix each other, but we can talk through it and be like, okay, we're good. Bucket filled. Let's go. Because I can't fill all of you guys' bucket unless mine gets filled, right? You can't fill your client's bucket and be the best for them if you're running dry, right? So who are those people that are going to celebrate you, going to pour into you? Who are they? Get around them. Right? Don't stop them, but get around them. Make sure they're a good portion in your world. Okay. Awesome. Okay, so write this down. Top 5. Okay. What else? Any questions? We have a few minutes here. 10 minutes. Any just random questions you guys are running across? Anything? Okay.
No.
So ahas from that little 5 relationship area. What's got you thinking?
That I think, well, personally, I know the types of people I need to be surrounding myself with and types of people that I need to maybe take a step back from. Doing it is a lot harder.
Very hard. Very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danielle says too, I think there are a few people I need to step back from. Y'all, It's not easy. It's hard. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. And you don't have to excommunicate them. You don't have to cut them off. Just watch how much time you spend with them and what you allow them to bring into your world. Okay? So it's going to be work. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be worth it. Okay? Because this business is already hard enough, stressful enough, that we need to make sure we have people surrounding us that are good, solid, not negative people. I love that. Okay, good stuff. Love it. Okay, so what's one thing you're going to take from today that you're going to implement this week? One thing.
I need to do more lifestyle farming to grow my database.
Perfect. So that would be at the gym, right?
Exactly.
Right? Farming doesn't have to be geographic. That's why I say lifestyle. Is it golfers? Is it people at the gym? Right?
Right.
Where are you? It doesn't have to be a neighborhood. So perfect. I love it. All right. What else? Janet, what are you going to do?
I'm going to try. I have an appointment tomorrow, so I'm going to at least try to do the one appointment a week.
Okay. So you're going to try or you intend to?
I intend to.
Great. Awesome. So you have an appointment tomorrow. Is it with a buyer or seller, or who's it with? Buyer. Okay. Great. And you're prepared because you have your buyer packet prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yes. So
awesome.
Hopefully it'll go positive. We shall see.
It will go positive. There is no hoping. It's an appointment. Go in with a positive attitude. And I always assume I have them until I don't, until they tell me no. I treat them as if they're a client, a strong customer, right? And they have to tell me no. That way you don't feel like you're selling them. You already have them.
Right.
Don't talk yourself out of the sale.
Okay.
If you need to shush and listen.
Okay.
Assume they're already yours until they say no. When you go in with that mindset, it's a lot easier because you're not trying to sell them. You already have them. The only thing you can do is make them say no. They've already said yes. They've meeting with you. They already said, yes, I choose you. Now are we a good fit? Okay. When someone sets an appointment with you, they've already said yes to you. They've already said yes. They've already chosen you. Don't give them a reason to say no. We can tend to talk ourselves out of the sale. Okay, Danielle's going to wear her name tag from now on to get more conversations, right?
Yes, me too.
Telling you, when you wear it, you better be prepared for the question. How's the market? Right? One or two things. One or two. You don't need to give them a whole rundown on the market for the last 9 months, right? Well, last week, so crazy. Okay. Awesome. So I'm going to go over action items again. Get or wear your name tag.
Right.
Study the market to have a couple stats. Right. Be ready to answer how's the market. And determine your top 5 people. And do you need to adjust that a little bit? You don't have to do it all at once. Maybe if there's 3 out of the 5, take your time. They'll be like, bam, you're all gone, right? Take your time. Okay, awesome. So action item also is to just keep going through your agent action plan and get that finished. The Locker Room University walks you through page by page. Okay. Those 2 pages I wanted to go through. Make a copy of this page, a blank copy if you want, and then try some different numbers. Play with it. Yes.
So if we're doing it and we're doing it on the actual website and we have questions about it, the website will walk us through it?
Yes. Okay. On the Locker Room University, it goes through page by page. Okay. Mm-hmm. If there's questions that you don't get answered, just write them down and let me know. Hey, I don't really understand this, da 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 da. Okay. So. Awesome. This was good. Was this a good use of your time today?
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, today was business basics. Like, how do we just get doing what we need to do? Get into activity. I mean, we could sit here and train and train and train and learn to know stuff, but we need to learn to do stuff. Right? Training to do, not training to learn. Got to get out there and do it. So, Janet, I'm super excited that you have 2 buyer prospects and you're meeting with one tomorrow. Mm-hmm. They've said yes to you. They've chosen you. Now help them. Walk them through the process.
Okay.
That's amazing. So what if you turned those 2 buyers prospects into clients and they closed in December? What would that do for you?
Give me Christmas money.
Yay, right? You're going to have money to celebrate.
Right.
Okay. So that's the focus. We're getting them under contract between now and November 1st or November 8th, you know, we'll get them closed in December before the holiday. And at least one of the 2 are going to buy and close. So what if you had an open house and you got 1 lead from every open house you did?
You have the potential to get maybe 4 leads a weekend.
Oh, okay. So the 16 units you need to close to make $100,000 at a price of $425. That's 16 open houses. If you get 1 lead from every open house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
16. 1 good, viable, gonna do something lead.
Right.
You may get 4, 1 may do something, right?
Right.
You need 1 ready to go buyer or seller from every open house. You only need 16 a year. That's it. How awesome would that be?
Yeah.
16 a year. You guys are awesome. I'm super excited. I want you to think about, because I do this kind of on a 6-week rotation, and next week is going kind of back into buyers. So we're going to dive in on buyers a little bit deeper. Let me know if there's something that you have a question on or want to know more about with buyers. And then that's kind of how we're going to do the next 6 weeks, is we'll do the same topics, but we're going to just go deeper. Okay. So be thinking, what is it that you want to learn or know, or, you know, have a burning question about buyers for next week. Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Good.
You guys are amazing. I love seeing you in activity and getting some results from that. So keep going. 1 appointment a week. 1. That's it. 1 appointment. It's doable. Will you do it? Right? Awesome. Right. You guys have a great week. I just appreciate this time with you guys. It literally fills my bucket. So I'm like, this is so awesome. And I love doing it Monday morning, because now it's like, woo, here we go. So you guys have a great week, and you know where to find me if you need me.
Thank you.
Awesome. See y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Purchase offer.